Alright, hello everybody, my name is AhnoldRunningMan, hope you're getting swelt and all good things, yes of course. Okay, here we go. I have one rule of the crit chance, crit damage. You need to follow this rule if you're making your own crit damage, crit chance build. Okay, we're just gonna get right into it right now. Your stats page. Alright, don't worry about the weapon, don't worry about the gear, don't worry about anything. This is completely thrown together. This is bullshit, don't use it. Alright, stats page. You're going to follow this page on a constant by constant basis. Alright, make sure you check it every time you enter a party, because you never know that party you enter, they might be using Beacon or they might be using Coyote's Mask, which will boost your critical hit damage and boost your critical hit chance. Now, it may or may not show up on the stats page. You don't know that. However, someone might be passively boosting you. So, it would be advisable every single time you join a party, maybe optimize your build based on your people and communicate, goddammit, communicate with people on whether or not they are using Coyote's Mask or Beacon. Because, let's say, you do, cap out your critical hit chance. You're missing out on damage. Don't cap out crit chance. The rule of thumb of crit chance is 50 to 60. Don't go anything lower. Don't go anything higher. All right? Just 50 between 60. Those two brackets are that's what you gotta be. All right? Don't be anything below or above. All right? Cool. Critical hit damage. You want to be, at least, if you want critical hit damage to be worth it, you want it to be above 110. You do not want to be below 110. You're missing a lot, and there's kind of no point, if I'm being real with you. Just be above 110. I don't care what you got to do. And this is the problem. You're going to be fighting a lot of different weapons, because a lot of different weapons have attributes that just go all over the place. Shotguns don't have any crit chance or crit damage. Or SMGs, they have extremely high critical hit chance, but they have shit weapon damage, alright? But they make up for it because of the high fire rate. So, that's what you're going to be fighting things left and right. Because look at this. Okay, my Colubre has 58 crit chance and 118 critical hit damage. That is perfect. I don't want to move away from that. However, my SMG has 60 critical hit chance and 118 critical hit damage. That's really bad. That means I'm capped out on the SMG. I don't want to be capped out on the SMG. That's bad. All right. I need to find something here that is giving me too much crit chance. I have to take into account the shotgun has 58. All right. What is giving me 8%? Well, obviously, that would be the Cheska backpack. Okay. In that case, maybe we can go, let's see. Depending on what I want to do, right? I could possibly, let me just find something real quick. Okay, through the power of editing, I found kind of a backpack that I would actually use for this build, particularly. Again, this build sucks, don't use it. I'm using it purely for example reasons. This is bullshit, don't do it. Okay, so, because I know, for now, that, I have too much critical hit chance. I could live without 8%. So, let's get rid of the Cheska. Let's go over here and put in Liquid Engineer. This gives me no value in the brand set, but it does give me, 6% crit chance and 12% crit damage. So let's go over here. Now, this should give me 50 exactly critical hit chance, which is perfect. That is exactly what I want to see. Now, if I go to my SMG, it's still at 60. Okay, so obviously, somewhere, we're getting just too much. I don't know about you. You might not be using an SMG anyways to begin with, so this video might be totally useless for you in terms of me trying to find the perfect balance between the two. But this is kind of the thing you're going to be finding when you make your crit chance, crit damage builds. You want to find the balance. Because, again, you might join someone that may or may not be using the Coyote's Mask, or they might be using the Beacon Mask, which gives you a ton of critical hit damage. And the Coyote's Mask gives you both critical hit chance and critical hit damage. So, communicate with the party that you joined if they're using these two things. If they're using these two things. Don't tell them, hey, use this stuff. No, just if they happen to be using it, maybe you might want to go to your stats page and maybe make sure you're not going over critical hit chance, because you could actually abuse what they're giving you and use it to your advantage, which is something you want to do. All right, I'm going to find a way if I can find the balance here, so let's see what I can do. So cool thing, if let's say you have a weapon that's over the limit of critical hit chance, right, and you don't know how much you're over that limit, okay, let's go back to the build and let's take out something that gives you critical hit chance. All right, for this example, Coyote's Mask gives me a lot of critical hit chance, and these passives may or may not be actually boosting my critical hit chance or critical hit damage as well. So let's choose something that doesn't give me anything of that sort. Punch Drunk, for example, doesn't have any of that, so let's just go with that real quick. It is Brit, but it doesn't matter. All right, let's go over here. Okay, so we missed about 5% critical hit chance, roughly. And that's how much of the oh my god, okay. So we're 5% over the limit on critical hit chance for the Dark Winter particularly. So I need to find some way to take that out. I'll be right back. Alright, well, I couldn't really find a good balance. So I'm gonna this is a moment where you're gonna have to come to terms with, where you may be going over the limit on a specific weapon type on crit chance, and you may have to deal with it, because you could do things like this. You know, Sokolov Concern gives 10% SMG damage, so I get more damage from my SMG, but also the other stats from the brand set give you 13% critical hit damage, which is really nice. And unless you don't want to use the Coyote's Mask, or, you know, for some reason, I mean, you don't have to, but that extra damage is nice. So those are the two things you're gonna have to consider when you're doing things like this. See, like, I could go over here, I'm at 130, 50 for my shotgun. That's not terrible, that's still pretty good. But if I went to switch back to the Sokolov Concern, we're at what? We're at significantly more. Because obviously you need the Coyote's Mask. You need to shoot with the Coyote's Mask to proc its damage, or to proc its critical hit chance, critical hit damage. So these are the things you have to figure out on your own. Like, would I want to do it that way, or, you know, possibly go the exotic way where you have to activate a passive to get it. You know, these are things you have to consider. Again, don't think too hard about this. Again, you're not going to be using this build particularly because this build sucks. I just threw this together purely for example reasons. All right, don't copy this. It is bullshit. It sucks. It really does. Because people might be facing this and they might not realize, say, okay, I need to figure out something here because I'm missing something here and I need more damage. I need more critical hit damage. I need more critical hit chance. So again, the rule of thumb, you want to be between, for critical hit chance, you want to be between 50 to 60. And for critical hit damage, you want to be at least over 110. If you're below 110, it's fine. However, if you seriously want your crit build to be worth it, be over 110. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. Don't try to fight me on this. You want to be over at least 110. Make it worth it. Make it worth your time. If you're below that amount, what are you doing? You need to do something, all right? Just be over 110 if you're making a critical hit chance, critical hit damage build. All right? All right. Pretty easy. Don't overthink this. Now you're going to start adding in your gear mods. You kind of want to do all this work ahead of time first, then start adding your gear mods afterwards. Because that way you depend on the gear set more so than, you know, gear mods and weapon mods. Because you may not have this, essentially, you know. I can't speak for everybody, but, you know, I'm gonna use my girlfriend as example. She doesn't have maximized critical hit chance or critical hit damage gear mods. And these are rare. These are extremely rare. How do I know? Because I can't tell you how many times I have scrapped one of these and have grinded my ass off just to get another one because I scrapped one by accident. All right. And it does take a long time. You might get lucky. Maybe you got RNG Jesus on your side. I don't know. But it does take a while to get these things maxed. Yeah, it's a lot. So, yeah, definitely you want your build to be as best as it can without gear mods. try to avoid to do this. Try to avoid using weapon mods. Try to avoid using gear mods until your stats page is already looking good. All right, your gear mods should be an additive. Okay, not the thing you need. You need. All right, that should be the thing you use as like, okay, this is adding to it. This isn't something I absolutely need. You know, obviously since we're at 50 crit chance and a pretty good amount of critical hit damage, I mean, safe to say, yeah, I think I can use critical hit damage gear mods because I mean, even the SMG already has extremely high. So obviously, yeah, I'm just gonna go over here and start applying maximized. And of course, when you're modding stuff, so go over here, click the thing you need. You go to your modding, right? Press F, whatever. Click the thing you want to mod. Hold G, or go down here to gear mod type. Is gear mod type? Filter options. There you go. Filter options. And then click on the one you need. Obviously, we don't need crit chance. We need crit damage. There you go. And then pick your thing you need. There you go. So go over here, click on the thing, mod the thing you need, right? Go to your mod slot, hit G or filter options for your console, right? And then go to crit damage or crit chance, up to you, and pick the thing you need, and there you go. Bing, bang, boom. Now we check our stats page, and now we have a significant boost in our critical hit damage. That's pretty good. Not gonna lie, 179, that's pretty damn good. Plus we have 50 critical chance. That's pretty damn good. That's a damn good deal. And then our SMG, 179, 60% critical chance. And we did learn earlier that I am 5% over the limit. So I'm just gonna forget about that and just deal with it. Okay, so yeah. That's the best we're gonna get. All right, I would love to get that 5% and put it into the critical hit damage, but it's not, I can't do that. So the beautiful thing here, this is what I love about SMGs, is I haven't even applied weapon mod slots to my SMG yet. We're already at 179, okay? So we can just load all this out with critical hit damage. Get more magazine size, because why the hell not? Then find the critical hit damage. There you go. Voila. Very good. My God. That SMG has 209. Wow. That's pretty damn good. So this is the beautiful thing about SMGs particularly, is what they make up for in their weapon damage, because their weapon damage is very low. They make up for it in both their fire rate and their crits. They're extremely high in that. And if you play SMGs, at least the way I play it, if you play it the way I play it, you're very up close and personal. You're very in people's faces. You're very annoying. You're gonna die more, because I do die more. And I mean, if you're using an SMG, you have to put yourself in harm's way to really get that dub. So yeah, that's what SMGs are all about. Obviously, this build is not amazing, so don't expect this to be like, you know, crazy. I would not follow this build. This build is completely ass. Don't go this route. So obviously, go to the shooting range and test it out. You know. So obviously, because the build itself, we're only dishing out like 418. That's literally nothing. that's garbage. Okay, we don't want to do that. Now, obviously, the Dark Winter does have this thing called Perfect Killer, where I get 90% critical hit damage on a kill for 10 seconds. All right, kill something. Let me potentially proc. There we go. There's Killer. All right. I mean, 539. It's still not amazing, right? Our weapon damage is way too low to make it worth it. Again, it's because of this build is just thrown together. This isn't really good. I would not run this. This is very bad. Our weapon damage is way too low to make it matter. You want something that gives you gradual damage. You know, obviously like something like Strikers or Tipping Scales, obviously. But I just wanted to make this build particularly for this example, because I think people kind of miss this sometimes. Because again, you might be joining a party that has either a beacon or a coyote, and they might be boosting your critical hit chance, critical hit damage. So if you see people in your party, or if yourself are using these, you may want to tell people that, like, hey, do you want to change your crit chance around because I am using Coyote's mask? I'm gonna be changing your crit chance, and they could focus on more crit damage. So communicate that. All right, that's a really good way to synergize your builds. Or if a teammate's using Beacon and they're constantly next to you, they're giving you 30% critical hit damage. So obviously maybe you want to change things around. Honestly, I think my next video will be surrounded about Palisade gear, because I think people are against Palisade because it has armor on kill and people think it's a useless stat, but it has its place, all right, in certain type of content. So I think the next video will be about Palisade, because I really love Palisade gear. It's probably one of my favorites, and this thing has helped me through everything I could think of. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. My name is AhnoldRunningMan. I will catch you guys in the next one. If today was your birthday today, or anything that's a stream upload on this channel, then of course, have yourself an amazing goddamn birthday. Autobots, transform and roll out.